Hi, this is Farmer Gus.
And Farmer Mabel.
And we are gonna
Build a birdhouse.
Okay, so here's what we got. We got some leftover pine wood that we used for our garage project with the wainscoting. And so we're gonna use that, and also leftover corrugated metal from our garage wainscoting project. And so we're gonna build two different styles. What do you think, Mabel? Sound good?
Yeah.
We'll build a Henry style and a Mabel style. Sound good?
Uh-huh.
So for the first style, we are going to build a pitched roof. So we're going to measure this board. It's 5.5 inches wide. What's half of 5.5, Mabel?
35.
Close. It's 2 3/4. So we're going to use this. So this is a 45-degree angle. So we mark the middle. And can you get all this? Are you getting all this? Can you see it? And we mark that. And then we'll mark this side. So we flip the board over. Mark this side. And then how tall do you think we should make this birdhouse, Mabel? 'How many inches do you think? What number?
6.
6? That's a pretty small one. Do you think maybe 8 or 10?
10.
10? 10 sounds good. So we'll make a mark at 10. And then we'll use this side of the square, which is our flat side. And we'll make a mark there. Now we are going to use our jigsaw, which I guess we can grab this. Here's our jigsaw. This one shouldn't be too loud. And we'll just cut like this. Come on, jigsaw.
So you can do it.
You can do it, jigsaw. Come on, jigsaw. What's the matter with you, jigsaw? There's one side.
But I want to get down.
Is it too loud? Do you want earplugs? All right, we'll get Mabel some ear protection. Where our ear protection went. Here it is. Mabel ear protection. Safety first, huh? And we could actually, why don't we do this? That's why Dad built a tool bench, so we can clamp stuff to it. Clamp, clamp. And then, right across here. Now, we need 2 of these. So we're just going to essentially do the same thing, and we can even just use this one as a jig, because it's a birdhouse, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll trace it. Boom, boom. Cut them straight across. All right, so we got a front and a back. Now what do we need?
The back.
Well, we got a back. So now we need sides. And I think we'll use this smaller stuff for the sides, back and bottom, because it doesn't have to be a big birdhouse, right? We're not doing pterodactyls or eagles. So you can even just use this as our jig. We'll set our width. And this will be our bottom. So we'll cut him real quick. Whoopsies. Here's our bottom. No, that ain't gonna work. He's broken. Uh-oh. We gotta cut another bottom. That's okay. No big deal. We'll just cut another bottom. we put them inside like that, that'd be nice. We need our sides. So if we make this guy our bottom, our side, well, if we do that, that's not going to work. I won't cover it, huh? I guess we could do it on the inside.
I guess we did cut it.
Yeah, you think we should cut them?
Yeah.
And we're just going to mark them like this. So we need to basically cut them at a 45-degree angle all the way across like that. How are we going to do that? Probably use our circular saw.
That might be loud.
Well, you've got your earplugs on. And what we'll do is we're going to take our fence and set it to 45 degrees.
Which fence?
This is called a fence. It's not really a fence in the sense of like a keeps things in fence, but that's what they call it. And so we need to set it like that. Dad probably put some safety glasses on. What do you think?
Yeah.
What about Mabel? Do you need some too? Okay.
How that work?
How do you like them? Good? All right, so we'll put a battery in our saw. And what we're going to do, Dad's going to transfer that mark that I made, and we'll make it a little bit long because we can always cut them short. So there's our mark. We're going to line it up to see where our blade's going to be, so right there. He's not too loud, huh? So this guy will go like this guy will go like this, and this guy will go in here. Oh, and he is a little long, but that's okay. We're going to cut one more piece like that, because we need another side. So we'll do the same thing. Anyway. Recording or no? You gotta tell me these things. So we trimmed our one side here. Now we're going to just measure and mark. Square them up. Use our speed square. Mark them. Let's just check. So we got this guy and this guy. He's going to go there. This guy's going to go here. This guy's going to go here. We need to maybe trim our sides a little bit. That's what I want to check. And he's going to go here.
And what should we use for our roof?
I think we should use that metal. What do you think? So we're pretty close. I think we'll start getting them a little bit tacked together.
We need somebody to connect it.
How do you think we'll connect them? And then we need to touch them up a little bit, huh, with the red, because the sides aren't all done. So it looks like they're both. This side looks about a 1/4 inch long, maybe an 1/8. And this guy looks about, same thing, a 1/4 and 1/8. So we're just going to zip a little bit off them. And for this, you don't even really need to measure it. You can just kind of eyeball it, because again, we're just building a birdhouse. And you can see on the circular saw, there's a little gauge here to tells you where you're at. So I'm gonna rip about, I don't know, 3/16 or so.
It's like a dust storm.
It's like a dust storm. He still looks a little long, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
What the heck? I guess we'll rip him again. Hey, what's going on over here?
They keep getting so long.
I think they're getting longer. How you doing back there, Mama?
Doing good.
What in the heck? We're getting closer. He's pretty close. What do you think? Or do you think he needs to be a little bit shorter?
He's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Why do you think they keep getting long?
I don't know. All right, bud.
Because they were long.
We didn't do a very good job of measuring you guys, did we? You're looking pretty good right there. So, in theory, what we could do is just use this one and this other one, mark them,
He's way too long.
clamp them, and eyeball them, I guess, because our speed square won't fit on there. And rip them.
Dad, you did it, mate.
Oh my gosh. All right, now let's see how this guy looks. We got the front, the bottom, the sides. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. Now the only thing we need to do is drill a hole for the front. How big of a hole do you think we need?
This big hole.
Whoa, that's pretty big. Do you think an inch is big enough?
Yeah.
You think so? Let's see what else we got in here. Our biggest one is 1 3/8. Do you think that's too big? Or do you think we should go for something smaller like an inch? Or 1 1/4 inches?
I think an inch and a quarter.
All right, 1 1/4 inches it is. All right, Henry, can you say hi?
Hi!
Henry, Farmer Henry over here was very upset to be behind the scenes. He wants to be in front of the camera. So we got to figure out how, if we put a roof and sides and the walls and the floors, how are the birds going to get in?
I don't know.
So we got to put a door in, huh?
Yeah.
But do birds know how to use doors? I don't think so. Do you?
Then we just have to put a little hole.
We just got to put a little hole then, huh? So what we're going to do is put a little hole, Henry. So where should we put our hole, do you think?
I think right there.
Right there. So the board is 5 1/2. Do you remember what half of 5 1/2 is?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
14.
Close. 2 3/4.
2 and 3/4.
2 3/4. So there's our mark for 2 3/4. Does that look pretty good, or do you want it higher or lower or right there? Maybe right here? Or right there?
Here.
Well, we can't put it all the way at the top. So this is going to make a hole 1 1/4 inches wide. So right there, maybe? What do you think?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let's make a little X. So X marks the spot. We're going to have to clamp them. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. What do you think, Henry? This is called a spade bit. It's actually called a paddle bit. Woo! Now we got a hole for the birds to get in, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now we've got all our pieces. We've got our front, our back, 2 sides, and floor.
So I think we're set.
I think we're set. So we just
And a hole.
and a hole. So now we just gotta put them together and then we'll put a roof on. So to put them all together, I probably better put Henry back down because I need to use both hands because I gotta hold the Birdhouse together. Sound good? Let's take a quick break. What were you saying, Mabel girl?
I'm keeping my earbuds on.
So it won't be too loud? So to fasten this guy together, you can do it with lots of different ways. You can hand nail them or screw them. We're just gonna use little brad nails. See, that's not too bad, huh? Look at that. Bing, bing, bing. You could even do it. You wanna try them?
Yeah.
Okay. Let Dad get them started on this side, and then we'll let you give them a try.
Now can I do it, Dad?
Yep. Just push that trigger. Good job. You did it. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to put the sides on.
Can I shoot it?
You sure could. Henry says, what about me? Let Dad get it set. So then do one over there.
Can I do it, Dad?
Yep. You want to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Good
Can
job.
I do it again?
You sure can. Pull it. Wait a second. There you go.
Can I do it?
Now we got part of a house, huh? Is it starting to look like a house now?
Yeah. But what?
What? We're missing a side. Let's get this side over here.
Can I help shoot?
You sure can. Hang on one second. Let me just... Whoop. All right. Hang on a second. All right, shoot him. Perfect.
Hey, wait a second. Can I shoot, Dad? Can I shoot, Dad?
Sure. Shoot him again. Feels pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put a couple more in just to be safe.
It will fall apart.
So it won't fall apart in this crazy wind out here. Okay, you can take a break if you need to. All right, Henry's back with us. So, we got them all shot together, huh? Is it done?
No.
What are we missing?
A roof.
We got missing a roof. So, we're gonna use our metal. And because we have a bend this way, a 45-degree bend, we'll try and make one of these peaks so it bends nice and easy along there. So we just really need to know how wide our roof is, or our house is. How wide is that one, Mabel? Can you tell?
4 inches.
What about to the outside? What's this number?
5.
5 inches. You're very good. 4 inches to the inside, 5 inches to the outside. Do you think we should do a little overhang so they don't get any rain in their house?
Yeah.
So maybe 1.5 inches out front and 1.5 inches out back, so maybe 8 inches or so? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll go 7 or 8. So 7 or 8 will need to be how wide, and then we need to figure out how long. How long is that house right there?
2.
Well, it's 4, all the way down to here. So we'll do 5 probably over here, and 5 over there is 10. So we're gonna do 10, 5, 7. Sound good? All right. All right, so we've got our little square marked out. That's gonna be our roof. And we're just gonna try cutting this stuff by hand, 'cause it's not very thick. We should maybe be using our jigsaw, huh? Well, we'll see how it goes. our piece cut. That's gonna be our roof. So now, kind of look like that. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think we leave most of the overhang in the front. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
There's the door.
There's the door. All right, and I think.
They can make
3.
All right. Well, we lost our helper to the. Why are you smiling?
Because you said all right.
Okay, I did say all right, apparently. To nap time. So we've got our piece of roof cut. We trimmed it up. Mabel and I trimmed the corners while we were waiting for Mom, and now Mabel's back to sleep. So we are going to put our roof on. I think we'll do, like we said, leave most of our overhang in the front. So we're gonna use these tiny little sheet metal screws with our impact driver here. And we'll just try and line this back one up first. This could be more difficult than Daddy planned. Get our overhang in the back where we want it. First one's always the toughest, but there we go. Now, bend the top over like this. Put another one in on the other side. Perfect. So you can kind of see, we got it started. Now we just need to sort of eyeball it and line it up with where is the front. Should be right about there, hopefully. And where is the front on this side? Should be right about there. Perfect. We'll put in a couple more, and we will have ourselves a birdhouse. Let's see here. Come on, little guy, you can do it. Another one in the back, so they don't get too drafty. Same thing on this side. Bingo. One nice little birdhouse. Think we should put a screw out front for them to stand on?
I kind of think so.
Somewhere like maybe right in there?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Kids quarantine craft day playhouse birdhouse. So we have our, I guess we'll call this Mabel style because she was here to help. Birdhouse completed, and we were going to make our Henry style, but he's not here to help. So this one we're just going to do a slanted roof. So we're going to make one side shorter than the other. So we'll call this, we've got about, it's like 23 inches of board to work with here. So let's do 9 in the back, and then we'll just do whatever we got left in the front. And we need our circular saw. Now this guy, put these on. And because we're going to do a slanted roof. Well, that's actually going to be pretty tall, don't you think? Is that too tall? It's going to make the front of this thing 14 inches. I feel like that's a little too tall, don't you?
But I feel like you need it to be, like the tallest part is going to be tall because it's going to slant backwards. So you can't have the front be only 11 and then the back be...
Also, we could make the back 6 and the top 10.
Okay. Well, let's do 7 and 11.
7 and 11?
You know, make it nice and roomy for them.
7 and plus 11 is 18. So we do our 2 marks here. So there's 18. There's 7. Cutting to this side. All right. Now, if we were really good at math, we need to figure out from 7 to 11 and adding in our side walls, what angle we need to be at. So, yikes. I'm not that good at math anymore. I don't know that I ever was. I'm sure somebody out there could tell us. Like, maybe what do you think, like roughly 30 degrees? That sounds probably about right, right? Easy, Mr. Metal. We'll start with 30 degrees. And we'll just leave this top long in case we gotta change it. Because we'll be able to sort of tell right now. Straighten this guy back up to 0. Now we've got our front and our back. We need to cut the top on our front. Let's just do a quick trim here. This is going to be our bottom. Mark our bottom here. Let's see what we got here. So we got bottom, we got front, and we got back. That's way more than 30 degrees. So, yeah. Math. Well, it's just Birdhouse, so not that critical. They'll deal with it. Yeah, we're gonna really have to, you know what we'll do is we're gonna make this easy. I'm just gonna cut 2 pieces that are extra long. We'll nail this thing together and then zip, zip, bingo. That's the quick screw math. You just do it this way. So we're gonna cut 2 side pieces, nail this thing together, and then we'll cut it all in a line with a circular saw. It'll work out perfect, and then we can trim the rest of this with the jigsaw. So here we go. Are you recording now or no? Well, I don't know. You said here we go, and then you shut it off.
I'd just like to keep you on your toes.
So we need another one like that. Bingo. Perfect, so we're going to use our brad nailer and just put our Birdhouse together. Give ourselves space towards the top so we don't end up cutting it when we're cutting our extra pieces here. Perfect, perfect. On the front. Now on the back. Actually, that side looks a little wonky, so we'll make him the top because we're probably going to have to cut that anyway. Flush them up on all sides. Boom. Birdhouse box. Now, we will use our trusty speed square here. And we'll connect the highest and the lowest points. Bingo. Who needs math? Highest and lowest points. Whoop. Bingo. These things need batteries to work. We'll bring our jigsaw back over. Perfect. Flip them over. So, that's about all we can do with the circular saw, and then it does create a little bit of a, we have to either finish that cut, but I think what we'll actually do is take a piece of our tin, and just so we give these birds a nice weather-tight seal out here, we're going to transfer these ridges into the top of this, and then we'll kind of cut that with a jigsaw. So we'll be back. All right, so birdhouses are a good place to practice stuff. I'm laughing because I always say it right. You learn a lot of stuff about yourself when you video yourself. So we have our roof sort of notched here, right? I mean, that looks pretty decent. And once we actually get this, the sides trimmed, it should actually fit in there pretty nice. So what we're doing now is going to trim up the sides. I'm trying to decide if I need to do the front first, or the back rather, I mean, and then do the sides. I don't really quite know yet. So I think we're going to trim the sides first. So we'll give that a try. Because we should be able to notch the bottom out of this a little bit better. So we're going to go from the side, and I guess we can change the angle of this if we really want to. Now, go to the side and cut that piece. And we'll go from the tip over there to where we've already cut over here. We'll change our angle a little bit. Again with the circular saw. I think we'll change our depth, so we're just cutting the... Sounds like Henry's waking up. Clamp this real quick. One side trimmed. Second side trimmed. Top looks pretty good. Our saw got us a little bit, but that's all right. Now we've got to trim the bottom here. So this should be our piece. So we're going to touch on each side there. We kind of got a mess going here. We're not very even. We are not real even here. Where is our tape measure? Let's see what we got here. 6 1/4. Yeah, we're 6 3/4. So 6 1/4 here. I'm gonna trim this guy up just a little bit more so that we're somewhat even. We'll give this a go. This one's not exactly turning out as easy. Okay. Now we're going to go like this. Both of those should sit right about there. I don't know about this. We've got our jigsaw adjusted to pretty much meet our... Oh. Yeah, this ain't looking good, folks. Farmer Gus is not doing a real good job on this one. Yikes. These poor birds. It was a valiant attempt, and we actually are not too far off up here. I mean, it's not terrible. The back's pretty bad. Yeah, the back's real bad. Mainly because I think we cut it too far with this. We needed to trim it and end up out here. That's a problem. Shoot. Well, let's take a break. Pretty bad. We're going to attempt to fix it. So we've drawn a new line here on the back, drawn a new line on the front. I'm going to cut both those with the jigsaw first, and we'll see where we end up. All right, so we actually did pretty good with the jigsaw. I've got the fence on the jigsaw angle. We have a nice cut. You can see it actually lines up pretty good, and we got a smooth cut on the front too, for the most part. Maybe do a little bit of sanding if I wasn't building a birdhouse. So now I think we've got our key here, which was we needed to have this side a little bit angled. So we'll get this sides ripped, and we should be good to go. All right, so we trimmed both sides at an angle there. We got our angles or matched back. This side's at an angle too. And now the roof actually fits on here pretty nice. You can see we got a nice little fit there. Once we screw them down, the sides will be nice and tight. This thing's gonna turn out pretty good. So birdhouse number 2 for the day, finished up. It turns out looking okay. We got them trimmed at the top there. Sides actually fit pretty good. Trimmed on the back actually works good. Did a couple of screws, and then we actually just did the little brad nails all the way around just so it fits a little easier. So turned out looking okay. I don't necessarily love this style, but hopefully the birds like it. And there, if you can't see it, zoom in a little bit, is our birdhouse right next to our newly installed bird feeder. That's one style, and there's the other one there. So hopefully the birds will come and enjoy.